Hey, what's up my loves? My name is Mina. Welcome to our channel Mina Reads, and today we are going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. First question, best book you've read so far in 2020? This answer without a doubt has to be A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This book was fucking phenomenal. It was everything that I wanted and more. So A Dowry of Blood is basically a retelling of Dracula from the perspective of the brides of Dracula, and so we are getting to find out about Dracula's bride, particularly this one named Constanza, and she is telling us the story of her relationship with Dracula, as well as how he came to have all of these other wives and a husband. It's basically about this polyamorous relationship that they have, and about their life with Dracula, and about how toxic their relationship is with him, and how terrible Dracula is. The writing is so beautiful, it's so haunting and lyrical, but also there's kind of like this horror aspect to it because it feels like very scary, and like the anticipation is just kind of rising as you continue to read, and you are kind of like nervous to see what Dracula's going to do next. And it's just like, it's such a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. It's amazing. It's very queer. It's super interesting. The writing is gorgeous. Like, it was everything. It was everything that I want, everything that I need, everything that I enjoy in a book. It was all in here. So I would definitely highly recommend it if you have not read it already. If you like vampire type content, if you want like an interesting Dracula retelling, like, you should check this shit out. It was amazing. Like, I can't stop talking about it. I can't stop recommending it. It was phenomenal. I highly recommend it. You should definitely read it. Okay, next question. Best sequel you've read so far. So for this, I actually have two answers. So my first answer is going to be a romance, and it is Isn't It Romantic by Lisa K. Adams. And this is the fourth book in her romance book club series. And the reason that this is the best sequel that I've read in a long time is because I really love the first book in that series, The Romance Book Club. I really love that book, like 5 stars. It was amazing. And then the second and third book in that series, did not like them at all. Like, well, the third book was okay, but the second book, I really did not like that shit. The third book was like okay, but I still had some major issues with it. But I feel like with this fourth book, like, Lisa K. Adams has really returned to the roots of the series, and this book was just so sweet. It was so adorable. Childhood friends to lovers, marriage of convenience story. So it's about this hockey player named Vlad and his wife Elena, and they were childhood best friends, and they recently, well, not recently, but a few years ago, they got married so that Elena could move to America with Vlad because they're both Russian. So they got married. They had this whole marriage of convenience, but Vlad is really in love with her, and he wants to make their marriage more than something of convenience, but he just doesn't know how to tell her and how to express those feelings that he has for her. So their marriage is really on the brink of kind of falling apart, and Elena has asked for a divorce at the beginning of the book. And so basically Vlad, he gets injured, and Elena, she comes to help him and like nurse him back to health, and over the course of that they like fall back in love. It's just so fucking good. It's so good. If you like the friends to lovers trope, if you like the marriage of convenience trope, if you like books that have like a large cast and there's like a huge friend group and all that kind of stuff, you will enjoy this. Like, it's so funny. It was so sweet. I loved Vlad. I loved Elena. I loved their relationship together. The banter, the vibes, the tension. It was just so good. Like, it was everything. And it was just so interesting to me how much I loved it in comparison to how anticlimactic I found the second and third book in the series to be. So it was definitely a great sequel. I loved it. We stan. And my second answer to this is going to be The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie, and this is the third book in the First Law trilogy. The First Law trilogy is the kind of series where you need to read the whole series to get the full picture of it. This is an adult grimdark fantasy, and we're basically following a cast of characters as they navigate like the politics and the political landscape and stuff of this country called the Union. There's some wars, there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. I read the first book and I thought the first book was pretty good. I think Joe Abercrombie's writing style is good, and his character work is phenomenal. His character work is really what makes the series what it is. So I really enjoyed the first book, but I found it to be a bit slow moving. And then the second book, I again found it to be a bit slow moving, but it was still really good. Like, Joe Abercrombie's writing is good. I think he's really funny. I like the way that he's able to make like dark, fucked up scenes feel kind of funny, and like, I don't know, it's just like finding the humor in all types of like bad things that are happening. And I just love the characters, right? But I felt like, you know, I felt like the first book was kind of like a 3.5 star, and the second book was more like a 3 star, because I just felt like the plot, it was just so slow moving, and it just was like, where are we going with this? Like, I couldn't really figure it out. But once we got to that third book, baby, it was amazing. Like the way that the story just comes together, it just was like amazing. Like you have to be able to see the forest through the trees because with this one, because like the full picture is amazing. It's beautiful. It's a masterpiece. But I feel like for me individually, the first few books were not necessarily giving everything that I needed to give, but they were still good. But this third book, yeah, it really sold me. Now the First Law trilogy is one of my favorite fantasy series. It was just phenomenal. It really tied the whole thing together. So yeah, sorry for rambling a bit, but y'all should read the First Law trilogy if you have not already. Question number 3. New release you still need to get to. So I still need to read Neon Gods by Katie Robert. This is a Hades and Persephone retelling. Everyone has been talking about how it's very spicy and blah blah blah. And I like Katie Robert. I think that she's a really good smut writer, so I'm excited to read this book. Hopefully it'll be good. I don't know what to expect from it because for me, Katie Robert is a bit hit or miss. Sometimes I really love her books. Sometimes I'm like, so I'm hoping that I will really love this one, and yeah, I need to get to this one soon, hopefully. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Without a doubt, the answer to this is Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. This is the third book in the Greenbone trilogy or Greenbone saga. The Greenbone saga, we are following this family called the Call family, and they are kind of like this mafia clan, and they have a large amount of control over this city called Janloon in the country of Kakon. And so essentially we're following the Calls as clan warfare breaks out between their family and another family called the Mountain Clan. So this is kind of like a mafia warfare fantasy series. It's really good, lots of political intrigue, lots of action. I love the characters. The plot, the action, the world building is all just really amazing, and I cannot wait to read the final installment in this series. It's just so good. You should definitely read the Greenbone saga if you have not already. So yeah, I cannot wait for this to come out. I think it's coming out in November or December maybe, but I need it. I need it so bad. Like, please, somebody give me an arc. Anybody. I need it. Like, I miss my babies so much, and I have to know if they're going to be okay. Number 5, biggest disappointment. My biggest disappointment is definitely Twice Shy by Sarah Hogel. I really loved You Deserve Each Other by this author last year, but when I tell you that Twice Shy was just not for me, I really did not like the main character, Maybelle. Not that she was like a bad person or anything, but she just was not my kind of protagonist. She was very, I don't know, quirky, and I didn't enjoy it. I felt like reading from her point of view was just irritating to me, and I didn't like it. And I felt like the relationship between her and her love interest was too slow burn, so I really didn't give a fuck about them, whether they got together or if they didn't. And I just felt like her and her love interest Wes, they were just boring together. There was nothing interesting about that story, and I am so like distraught over that because I really love You Deserve Each Other, and I was like, yep, Sarah Hogel is going to be my new favorite author. I'm just going to love everything she puts out, banger after banger, hit after hit. And no, Twice Shy did not hit at all for me personally, but I know a lot of other people really loved it, so I'm happy for you guys. I wish I was counted among that number, but alas, I did not like that shit. Biggest surprise. So my biggest surprise this year was definitely People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I did not like Beach Read at all when I read it last summer. I couldn't vibe with it. I didn't like it at all. But People We Meet on Vacation was so good. So People We Meet on Vacation, we're following these two characters, Alex and Poppy. And Alex and Poppy, they are college best friends. They've been friends for years. And at the start of this book, we find out that they are kind of estranged and they haven't really talked to each other in the past 2 years. But we discovered that every year, Alex and Poppy, they used to go on vacation together, but they haven't done that in about 2 years because some event happened on their last vacation that we don't know about yet. So this story is about them trying to rekindle their friendship on one last hurrah of a vacation that they plan, and it is very sweet, very angsty. If you like Friends to Lovers, I feel like you're going to love this. It was just so good. I really liked Emily Henry's writing style. I liked the humor. I liked the romantic and sexual tension between Alex and Poppy. I really loved their friendship dynamic and the way that I understood how their friendship dynamic was, you know, was moving towards the romance. Like, I just felt like it was so good. It was so amazing. Emily Henry is a gift, and I don't know. Honestly, after having read and really loved this, I feel like maybe I should try to reread Beach Read again. Like, maybe with brand new eyes, I will have an appreciation for it that I didn't have last year, because I don't know. People We Meet on Vacation, it was just a serve. It was a serve. I loved it. I can't wait to reread it. Like, it was fucking phenomenal, y'all. Phenomenal. Best thing I read in May. Highly recommend it. Okay, friends, so my camera died. So if the vibes or the angle is different, that's why. New favorite author. This is going to have to be Jack Harbin, or Jack Harbon. I always say his name different. I don't know how to say this shit. But Jack, I love you. You're amazing. You're an icon. You're a legend. When I tell you that I really, really like Jack's writing, and I feel like as someone who has been reading his books since like 2019, I feel like I've definitely seen the progression of him and his like craft as a writer as the years go on, and I just feel like Jack is just so good. And I feel like the culmination of all of his hard work and like building his craft has really shown through in Parker, which is his latest release. Parker was so good. It's this really sweet, really amazing, angsty romance, and it was just fucking phenomenal. I love the two main characters, Parker and Trey, and I just feel like their romance was so excellent. And so yeah, I feel like Parker definitely solidified Jack as one of my favorite romance authors. Like, he's just an icon, he's a legend, and he is the moment. So I love you, Jack. I don't know if you're seeing this, but I love you. Number 8 is newest fictional crush. So since I'm an indecisive bisexual, I think that I should be allowed to have more than one new favorite fictional crush. So I think I have like 4, maybe 5. The first one is Parker from Parker by Jack Harbin. Amazing, iconic, a legend. He's like, he has long hair, and he's covered in tattoos, and he's big and strong and muscly and like overprotective. It's just, whoo. I love him. I love him. If he was real, I would definitely steal him from Trey. He was the bisexual king. I loved him. We stand like, Parker. He was the moment. Then Vlad from Isn't It Bromantic. Vlad is a sweetheart. He is an emotional, gentle giant. And I just, I loved him. I loved him. We stand. He's so sweet, so funny, so amazing. I just love that guy. I can't get enough of him. Can't wait to reread his book. Then we have Shala and Serapio from Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This is a fantasy book, but listen, Shala, she is a bisexual mermaid sea captain, and Serapio is the reincarnation of this crow god, and he's maybe kind of a villain, possibly going to bring about the end of the world. But they're both icons, and they're both incredibly sexy, and they're both kind of in a relationship. So like, I have never wanted to join a relationship so bad in my life. Shala and Serapio were the moment. And then lastly, but certainly not least, Ethan from The Intimacy Experiment by Rosie Danan. Ethan, he is this hot young rabbi, and The Intimacy Experiment is basically about this rabbi Ethan and this girl Naomi Grant, who is a former porn star turned sex educator, and they basically collaborate to create like this sex education program for Ethan's congregation. But Ethan is so sweet and so dorky, but also like sexy when he wants to be. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I could use a little bit of Ethan in my life. Like, he was the moment. Definitely recommend reading The Intimacy Experiment. It was a good time. Number 9, newest favorite character. I think I'm going to have to go with Glokta from the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Glokta is a torturer, and he is a bad person, but he is absolutely the moment. I fucking loved him so much. Like, Glokta is hilarious, and he's a bad person, and he's constantly doing like vile, heinous shit, but I loved him beyond anything that I could even describe to you. He was just amazing. Like, one of my favorite characters. He's so interestingly crafted, and I just love him. Also, he is a disabled protagonist, and I liked the way that his like chronic pain was discussed, and the way that he personally handles and like perceives his chronic pain and everything like that. It was just very interesting to me, and I love the fact that Joe Abercrombie wrote that into the story. But like, yeah, Glokta, he is an icon, a legend, a villainous king, and I fucking loved him. So yeah, Glokta is one of my new favorite characters for sure. Books that made you cry. So books that made me cry, I would say Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. I was so emotional reading this book. So Honey Girl is about this character named Grace. She is a recent PhD graduate, and she really doesn't know what she's trying to do with her life. So her life is a bit up in the air. She doesn't know where she's trying to go in terms of her career and everything like that. So she ends up going on this vacation to Vegas. She gets drunk, she meets this girl, they get married in Vegas, and when she wakes up, she's like, holy shit, I got married last night. So over the course of this story, we follow Grace getting to know her new wife, while also dealing with, like, you know, her millennial ennui because she can't figure out what the hell she wants to do with her life. And I don't know, I really related so heavily to Grace, and I really loved like her journey, and I don't know, I just really loved reading about her and her experiences, and it was just something that made me feel so seen when I was reading it, so I was highly emotional, and I do think I shed a tear or two reading it. A book that made me happy, definitely At Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. Eve Brown, one of my new favorite characters. She was so fucking hilarious, and I loved her and her love interest Jacob's relationship, their dynamic together, their banter, all of that. It was just so good, so cute. We love it. It made me immensely happy, and I definitely gave it 5 stars. Like, it was amazing. I had so much fun with it. Favorite book to movie adaptation you've seen? I'm gonna have to go with Shadow and Bone because I don't think I've watched any other book to movie adaptations this year. So yeah, Shadow and Bone. It was pretty good. I liked it. Favorite review that you've written this year? Definitely my review for A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, because I'm pretty sure it reads as follows. No thoughts, head empty, just vibes, and monster dick. And I think that that is the most eloquent review I have ever written in my life. So yeah, follow me on Goodreads for more gems like that. Number 14, the most beautiful book you bought this year. I think the most beautiful book I bought this year was definitely Son of the Storm by Sue Davies. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous, it's stunning, amazing. The artists really did their thing on this one. So yeah, definitely my favorite cover of the year. Last question, what books do you still need to read in 2021? I still need to read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I still need to read The Heart Principle by Helen Huang, which comes out in August, I think. I also need to read Sorrowland by River Solomon, who is one of my favorite sci-fi authors, so I definitely need to get to that one. I need to read Master of Jinn by P. Jelly Clark. And finally, I want to finish out the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown because I have already read Red Rising and Golden Sun, and I really enjoyed both. So I want to read the last book in that trilogy and, you know, finish it. Those are all the questions. Those are all my answers. I would love to know what your answers are to some of these questions, so please leave those in the comment section below if you'd like to, you know, let me know how your reading year is going, what you've been loving, what's been disappointing, you know, all that good stuff. I'd love to have a conversation in the comments. But before I close out the video, I do just want to say thank you to Tane Eyewear. They sent me some glasses, so I'm going to try them on right now. This is not sponsored, but they did gift me these glasses, so I wanted to show you guys them, and I'll leave like a link to their website in the description below. So these are the Alia glasses in Golden Haze. I've really been wanting to try some frames that are more circular and golden because I prefer like gold jewelry, and you know, my old glasses, they're like silver, so it would be cool to get some, you know, to just include some gold in my eye look. So I was thinking about these. They also sent me a few other pairs, so let me try those on. Okay, these ones are in the shade Cognac, but they're a really similar shape to the Alia glasses, and I think these are a little bit more like silver looking, but I like these. And the final pair are from their orange line, and these are basically like blue light blocking glasses. And blue light blocking glasses, basically, they're helpful if you look at screens a lot, so they help shield you from the, I don't know how to describe it, but you know, from the light from the screen, so that it decreases like the chance of headaches and like interruption of your sleep cycle and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, these are part of their orange line. They're also this golden shade that I really like, and they're really round. So yeah, I like them. Oh yeah, also these ones are supposed to be anti-fog, which is really helpful because my glasses always fog up when I wear my mask outside, so these are really helpful for that. Yeah, thank you so much to Tane for sending me those, and I'll leave the link to them in the description below. But yeah, that's it. That's my mid-year book freakout tag. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye you guys. Like, comment, and subscribe, and a special thank you to all of my wonderful patrons.